3, 4. Hey folks, my name's Andy and I'm the band leader of Led Repplica. Welcome to the channel. So today I thought I'd do a video on this guitar here and just turn my phaser off. On first impressions, it looks like a Andylectro, but it's actually not. This is an Andylectro. Sorry, Andylectro. Always say that. Andylectro, yeah. So this is a custom built guitar that my dad made and it was for this project. So yeah, I mean, I probably could have got one from a shop, but they were actually weren't in stock in New Zealand at the time. And hey, you know, like, Dad loves doing this stuff and he does a really good job. And I'm always kind of blown away by what actually goes into making a guitar. So quite a cool project that he took on. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, I'd talk about this guitar and how it came about and how it differs from the original guitar, and I suppose what Jimmy Page used it for when he used his Andylectro in Led Zeppelin. So let's get into it. Cool, so first off, let's talk about Jimmy Page's Andylectro DC2. And I'm just going to refer to my notes here. Okay, so this comes from Ground Guitar website. Okay, so it's called a 1961 Andylectro DC2 3021. I'm not sure what that last bit means. Feel free to let me know. So Jimmy Page bought this guitar sometime in the mid-60s and used it for his early studio work with the Yardbirds and later on with Zeppelin. It was first used on stage on White Summer with the Yardbirds around 1967, and it was tuned to Dad Gad. So the inspiration, I think, for that came from a I don't know where he's from, somewhere in the UK, a folk guitarist called Bert Jansch. Feel free to correct me on that. And he I think he wrote Black Mountainside, but it wasn't called that. Or maybe it was. Anyways, it's got a very it's got a really nice sort of what do you call it, like folky, Celtic-y, that era sound. Yeah, it's really cool, and he used that as inspiration for that song on Led Zeppelin 1. So later on, Jimmy would continue using the guitar on White Summer, Black Mountainside with Led Zeppelin in the early days. So that was a medley that he played live. Black Mountainside appeared by itself from Led Zeppelin 1, and he recorded a version of White Summer, I think, as kind of like an independent recording, and yeah, it became a medley later on. And again, the thing to stress here is that this is in Dad Gad. So Dad Gad is a tuning which allows you to use lots of drones, much like a you know, like a sitar or something like that. It just allows a lot of string ring throughout, so when you're playing stuff, the idea is that strings ring out. But also you have lots of octaves, so if you play parallel frets, you get a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you have 2 D strings and 2 A strings. You got 3 D strings in fact, but I'm not going to do that right now. Anyways, that just gives you an idea of what Dad Gad is. Which is different to standard tuning, like quite different. Okay, so then this guitar reappeared in Led Zeppelin 4 When the Levee Breaks, and that was played in open F tuning, so really low. C, F, C, F, A, C, yeah. I don't know, something weird happened the first time I did it. Yeah, and so it gives like a really cool bluesy sound, I guess you call it. Okay, and then he used it on in My Time of Dying on Led Zeppelin 5, which was actually in open A tuning, I believe. And so it's a lot higher than either open F or open G. And then for subsequent live performances, a lot of the time was an open G, which is a more standard key. He used that on songs like what's it called, Traveling Riverside Blues and stuff like that. And there's another one. Oh, bing, ding, ding. That's the Way. He's on That's the Way. Yeah. And so, oh yeah, probably the most famous song that I played in the intro that this guitar's recognized for and the tuning is Kashmir. So it's a Dad Gad tuning, and I'm pretty sure he played it on his Andylectro. Pretty sure. He could have also doubled it up with his Les Paul, Tele, whatever. But the main guitar in question for that song is the Andylectro. So that is Jimmy Page's. That's how his guitar came about, and where it came from, and how it contributed to the Led Zeppelin songs and albums. So now I thought I'd take the opportunity to explain the building process of this guitar and what my dad did, because it's really cool. He did a really good job. So the actual specifications, the building of this guitar is the thing that actually I found really interesting, because I thought it was just a solid piece of wood, but it's not. It's actually basically a couple of like pieces of plywood or similar, sandwiched together, glued together, with a center routed out, with a central piece kept so you can put in pickups and stuff like that, and it also just gives it a bit more you know, it gives it more solidness, so it's not just, the pickups aren't just floating, because otherwise it's really prone to feedback. And when you're playing loud, and the Zeppelin of course is super loud, the guitar will just be uncontrollable. So it still has a center block, but it's very hollow. It's almost like a 335. It's probably more hollow than a 335. Yeah, because the edges are routed out quite close to the actual edge of the what do you call it? Of the body. Maybe it's very similar to a 335. Anyway, the point being is that it's a heck of a lot lighter than a 335. I can tell you that right now for free. Okay, it's got these two lipstick tube pickups, which are really bright and quite low output. So if you were to compare this guitar to any other guitar, you'd be like, where is the volume? Where's the overdrive? And it needs a boost. So I'm using a Plumes, yeah, by Earthquaker Devices. I'm just using the boost mode and just putting a bit of gain in front of it. Here's without the boost. Here's with the boost. Just gives it like a lot more guts. I mean, I can put it for another boost and give it even more guts. But you get the idea. It needs help to be loud, and so that's what the boost is for. Alrighty, so the first thing that he did was he built the body, and the body is actually, like I said, it's basically two pieces of ply that were glued together, epoxied together, and then he used like a template to actually shape the two pieces before they were glued together. So he created the template to make that, and then the hollow parts were routed out, leaving a central block. Yeah, so it's a very hollow guitar, and then from there, the top and the bottom is masonite, which is basically hardboard, which is like you know, it's a lot of glue and hardboard. I think it's not I'm not sure how much wood is in hardboard. Yeah, again, I'm not a builder, so feel free to correct me on that, but it's like it's not a nice cut of wood or anything like that. And then that was glued on top of the guitar, and then he shaped the top and bottom to fit the original plywood frame. And then the what do you call it? The part where the electronics go, that was cut into it. So underneath the scratch plate here, there's a cavity. So again, it's really hollow, and and that's where the electronics go into. So it makes it much easier because you know, Dad and I recently we tried to what we did, we put treble bleeds into my 335 and we needed to fix a pot that stopped working, and it was an absolute nightmare. Like, not even joking, it's a nightmare. Yeah, so if you were ever to do any repairs on a 335, make sure you charge double, because it's more than double the work. It's just crazy how hard it is. Yeah, and then the neck recess was put in. So yeah, onto the neck. Well, this is quite interesting. So Dad purchased this neck from Alibaba, and it has a custom ad-lib headstock. What that means is it's a big piece of wood, and you can shape it to whatever shape you want it to be. So in this case, Dad shaped it to this this Andylectro shape, which is a very thin shape, pretty iconic really. Yeah, so there was more than enough wood to do that, and he did a pretty good job actually, shaping that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, what else? Tuning pegs came from Australian Leathers as well. The nut came from there as well. So I can't remember if this is bone or plastic. It's probably plastic. Feels like plastic. Yeah. Yeah, what else? The neck plate came from Dromy. It's a neck plate. Guitar, it's just a bolt on. Nothing exploding. The pickups also came from AliExpress. I'm not sure if AliExpress and Alibaba are different things. Yeah, it came from China anyway. Quite hilarious. Dad put them on backwards, so now you have to wind them. You have to wind them in the opposite direction when you're going, oh, what the heck's going on? Oh, that's right. It's on backwards. So that always keeps me on my toes, you know, and I like stuff like that. Scratch plate, Dad made from a piece of plastic. So he just shaped that and then he angled it. So it's not like this going down, it's actually angled like that around. So it's quite nice, it's quite smooth and quite nice. The pots and knobs came from Jaycar. So nothing too special there. The switchcraft, the selector came from Australia. It's a switchcraft selector. You know, I'm pretty sure it's like a standard Gibson style one. Yeah. Dad said that the original wiring for the Andylectro was quite unusual. I don't know what that means. I think, but he made it to be like in a Gibson style. So, you know, 2 pickups, volume, tone. It's not 50s wiring, so the tone capacitor is not connected to the volume. It's independent, and then on each one of these volumes it has a treble bleed. So I'll just turn on both overdrives. So it's very oh gosh, sensitive to volume input. So I can use the volume to control how distorted or not distorted I want it to be. You get the idea. So yeah, it's very sensitive to volume changes. I just want to quickly demo the sound of the pickups, by the way. I'll just turn that off. So this is the neck pickup. It's hard to compare it to anything. It doesn't sound like a tele, it doesn't sound like a Strat, you know. Bridge all the way up, super bright. Super bright in the middle, which is what I had for the Cashmere, by the way. Nice and bubbly kind of there. It's just got that country twang, you know. It's great. Yeah, I'm a guitar player. Okay, right. So anything else? Paint job. It's spray paint. This is spray paint. It's a high gloss spray paint. Dad had to do heaps and heaps of undercoats on the top of the masonite top. He had to do lots of undercoats on the masonite top because it was very matty finish, like the wood itself. It's not nice wood, like I said. So he had to do a number of undercoats before this came up, and it actually came up really nice and shiny, like in a nice way, not in like a, you know, No, not nice way. And then this is not actually tape. Oh, sorry, it is tape. Oh, I gave it away. I always do that when I tell jokes. I always give the punchline away. Anyways, this is tape. It's not paint. And yeah, that's to the original specs. So it looks quite cool. So yeah, there you have it. So that's what this guitar is. Oh, the bridge, by the way, is like a Telecaster style bridge, so it's not like a Andylectro bridge or anything like that. The strings are just going through; they're not going through the body. I think if the strings did go through the body, I think it would actually be a big upgrade in tone. I think it would actually make it sound a lot better. But that's another project for another day. But yeah, this is it. So well done, Dad. You did a great job on this guitar. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun to play. It looks great. It looks great for the show. So obviously, when I use this for the show with my pretend double neck 1275 and my pretend Les Paul. This is a 1959 limited edition Epiphone. Great guitar, by the way. I'm going to do a video on this guitar. So yeah, it basically goes in line with the concept, I think, of the band, which is obviously we're trying to cover and pay tribute to Led Zeppelin, but we're doing it in a kind of budget way. I don't have the money. No, I can't really justify buying the real deal things. It's just too expensive, and to me it doesn't actually make a big enough difference in order to do it. I'm quite happy with being able to upgrade things to make them better, like the Epiphone. I'll talk about that in another video, but a number of upgrades have been done to that guitar just to make it better, basically, and they make a huge difference. It's amazing how small things down the track lead to huge differences. So yeah, I'll talk about that later. But anyways, I'll finish with this guitar and I'll play a song to finish. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the content. It means a lot to me, it means a lot to the band. It allows us to reach more people. This is just a passion for me. This is a real passion project. I love Led Zeppelin. I love the lore of Led Zeppelin. It's just, I don't know, I guess I'm just a fan, you know. But it's such a joy. And this is the first video that I've done in this new space that we have here. That we bought a house last year, a new house. So I've just been getting used to the space, and I've got so much more room now. So I'm very much just using a small amount of space here to do this video. But there's heaps of things to come, lots of inspiration in the air, and yeah, it's been really cool, but just busy, being real busy. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Andy. This was Led Repplica. I'll play your song.